Today's video is not for a beginner. So if you're a beginner, this is for the advanced guys. This is for the guys who've been in real estate for a while, who are trying to level up and take from doing 1, 2, 3 deals to leveling up, who don't just want to make 100 grand a month or 50 grand a month or, even 10 or $20,000 a month, but really want to take this to the next level. How do you turn investing in real estate into something that could change your life, that could accomplish your dreams, that you could get into the dream house, that you could be impactful in the community? And really, what is building your net worth all about to you? Is it all about just the zeros? Is it all about just making money, or is it about more? Did you get in this just for the money, or did you get in it for more? And my question now is, do you know what that more is and how to build it and how to take yourself to the next level? On today's episode here in Forge to Win, I'm going to talk to you about your personal net worth strategy. And this is going to be some stuff that you guys have never heard before. It's not just about money, but how do you analyze your situation? How do you decide how much you're worth in the marketplace, not just from a dollar amount, but from your entire net worth, your entire category of relationships, of influence, all of that today on Forge to Win. Hey guys, my name is Ronald Walker, your host here at Forge to Win. If you guys are liking this content, hit that subscribe button for me, hit the like button, leave a comment or two on what you think. This is going to be something I don't think you guys have heard before. A lot of us, when we think of net worth, we take our assets, right? If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you take our assets and we measure them against our liabilities, right? I have a game that I just bought for my family for Christmas. They don't know this yet, but that I bought for them called Cash Flow, right? How do you accumulate assets to cover liabilities, which is amazing. But when you just think financial, you're missing out on a lot of the juice of net worth. And so what I want to dig in is, yes, you want to focus on your assets versus liabilities and make sure that you're gradually increasing that balance sheet. But there's balances in other areas too. So that's what I want to jump in to today. So number one and the first thing that you guys need to think about when you're thinking about net worth is the financial position. What are your liabilities and what are your assets and what's your total income? And from a financial standpoint, do you own, $2 million in equity and have, $1 million in debt? And what does that look like, right? What is your actual on paper net worth? Because that on paper net worth does matter. Your balance sheet does matter. But ask yourself, go through a financial statement, go Google online and say, hey, how do I figure out my net worth? And there's tons of ways of doing that. You can look at different stuff from Robert Kiyosaki. You can just Google personal financial statements and go through that financial statement and figure out, where are you at? Do you have too many liabilities over your assets? Do you have any assets? Do you have more money going out than you have coming in? Where's all your money coming in at? And determine what that looks like. But guys, that's not the number one thing. That is a primary thing. And a lot of people who are getting started, that's what they care about because they're in survival mode, right? They're running around like wild coyote trying to catch the road runner who's that dollar, right? They run off a cliff and they realize, oh my gosh, I'm in financial disaster. But once you figure out the financial part, how do you grow from there? What does that look like? And number two, in your net worth overall is, what does your influence look like, right? How many people do you influence? How many people are you raising up to impact their philosophy in life? How many people listen to you? Like, think of YouTube, right? How many people will listen to what you're saying? When you say it, when you speak at a stage, that come to you with advice that you can reach out and you can influence. What does your influence look like? And what's your net worth on the influence level? Do a lot of people come to you because you have a reputation for helping them make more money? Do you have a reputation for helping them go from level 1 to level 2? From level 2 to level 5? What does that look like for you? Because that influence is part of your overall net worth. And it's a way for you to gain confidence, right? Confidence oftentimes is in our mind. It's how we carry ourselves. It's how we walk. It's like, it's like being Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black, right? You're walking around in the suit with the thing on and you know what you're doing. The question is, do you know, are you like Will Smith when he walks into the thing for the first time and he's like, yo, what the heck is going on? What is this alien, right? And he's like, oh my gosh, are you like that? Are you the confident? Do you know what's going on? Do you have the confidence that you can influence other people? What does your influence look like? What does your voice look like? Number 3 is your health. Where are you at with your health? Are you overweight? Are you way overweight? Are you in shape? Are you not in shape? I know I've got to work on it. I know this is a core goal for me right now in my life, is making sure that I'm in shape, making sure I have energy, right? Because energy gives us that edge. And as you're running a company, as you're investing in real estate, if you want to grow, you need as much edge as you can. You need to be sharp. You need to be urgent. You need to be going out there. You need to get emotional and want to engage. And health is a big part of that. You know, if your health declines, everything else gets put on hold. If a family member's health declines, everything else gets put on hold. So what does your health look like? Are you lethargic? Are you, a little, on edge? Are you eating crappy food? Right? Do you go out to eat too much? Like me, when I was younger, I would eat out 3 times a day. And it wasn't healthy. Trust me, it wasn't healthy. Even now, I have to limit that because it's a habit. It's a craving that just draws me to it. Right? But your health is part of your net worth. Where are you at? Are you in good condition? Do you have energy? Are you willing to go out there? Are you excited? Are you beat down? What's your mental health look like? What's your mind game look like? I love when people say that real estate is a mind game, because it's so true. If your mind's not in the right spot, you're in the wrong spot. So the next thing is, look at your skills. Look at your skills. What skills do you have, right? They say, Harvard Business Review came out, I believe in 2021, January, came out with a quote that said, it's 27% of new hires have the skills necessary for the job that they're doing. Only 27% have the necessary skills, and they will need to develop 17 to 25 new skills in order to stay relevant over the next 18 months. The question I have for you is, what skills do you have? What skills are you developing, and how are you going to the next level? Because as you think about your net worth, as you think about what you're doing in life, maybe you've built a big business, right? Bigger than mine. Maybe you've done a ton of stuff. Maybe you have a whole company that's operating on its own, and you have 3 of them that are operating on your own. You ask yourself, man, these are my 4 skills. My question is, are you satisfied, right? Or you're the new guy who's been working 9 to 5, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to jump into this real estate game. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. What skills do I need to develop? Are you hungry, or are you not hungry? Are you kind of pulling back a little bit? Are you good? Are you excited? Are you developing those skills? Because my suggestion to you, think about the skills you need and start developing them. Start working on them. Start going through them. I read a lot of these books. One of the things from a guy I listen to a ton, Patrick Bet-David, The Hat, right here, Valuetainment. One of the things I learned from him is, when you're reading, don't just read 50 books. Don't just read 100 books. Instead, pick topics during the year. Pick 2 topics during the year that you want to get better at this year. And then your 50 books, your 40 books, let all of them be in those 2 topics, and master those things and start implementing those skills. And as you start implementing, you will gain a whole bunch of knowledge around one subject. That's how I got sales, is I was like, I need to get good at sales. I bought every book I could find on sales. I read over 120 books on sales and negotiation to get good at negotiating. So my question is, what are your skills? What do they look like? What are you doing to develop them? And at what point are they right now? And what are the additional skills you want to stack? Taking that and gradually adding those skill sets. Because as you add those skill sets, you will begin to not only be more confident, but you'll be able to have more impact. You'll be able to use those skills to accomplish goals. So go through and figure out and write down, what skills do I have? What does that look like, right? What's my net worth? What's my influence look like? What's my health look like? What do my skills look like? And being able to jump into that. The next thing is, what does your credit look like? People don't really talk about this, right? In real estate, we're like, no credit needed, no this. That's amazing. But that's step 1, guys. That's why I said this is a video for the advanced level. If you're getting advanced, if you have crappy credit, you need to work on that. Okay? That's not something to brag about, right? You want your credit to get better. Do you have a credit a credit specialist that can help you get it better? Are you leveling it up? Do you need to print off your credit score once a week on Thursdays and review it and see what you can do to increase that credit score? Because as your credit score goes up, you have options. You can buy better cars, right? If you want to spend your money there, you can use it to buy real estate and to get long-term loans, right? Some hard money requires to look at your credit, so you can do that. It gives you more options, and those options show that you're a credible source. And even as you're looking at yourself, ask yourself, is it good for me to have a bad credit score? Or, does it bring me confidence? Am I the type of person I want people to look at and say, you know what? I trust you. That's what credit score is. And I want you to even open up this. What is your credit score outside of just Equifax, TransUnion, and whatever the third one is? What is your credit score in your reputation? What is your reputation's credit score? I was friends with this guy, and we did business together. We bought a lot of houses together. We did a lot of owner financing and subject to. And one thing that I realized is he had lots of ideas. And he would start talking to people, and he'd get on stage and he'd speak and he'd talk to people and he'd be like, yo, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to do this. And it was so exciting because, we're talking about big, big goals, big, big dreams, really cool stuff. But then we'd start the execution and we'd start doing it and nothing would happen. He'd drop the ball. Yo, we're going to start a show with so-and-so. He'd talk to him, but never actually do it. And he began to create a reputation in the marketplace and with me of someone who talked big, but didn't deliver. He overpromised and underdelivered. He had all of these amazing ideas and he spoke very, very well. But when it came time for the rubber to meet the road, he couldn't pull it off. My question is, what is your credit score? Does that equal a high credit score or a low credit score? And how long do you want to stay in this game? Do you want to stay in for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? What do you want your life to look like when you're 50? Ask yourself, what do I want my credit score to be? What do I want my reputation to be? Because that reputation is going to be one of the key factors into the thing I'm going to talk about here in a little bit that allows you to explode in life and the way you feel in your personal net worth. The next thing I have on your net worth is, what does your income look like? Is your income good? Is it bad? What's your active source of income? The thing you're getting every day for your active work. I flip a house, I get 20,000. I flip a house, I get 20,000. Do you get it or does the company? How much are you getting personally? And figuring out what that active income is and then flipping it over and saying, what is my passive income? Because if you're going to go to the next level with some of the things we're going to talk about here in a little bit, with building an even greater net worth to having a bigger impact, you need to have your income set straight, your active income and your passive income, so you're not worrying. I can tell you, I've been in a spot. I had $3,000 in my business account, guys. $3,000, 9 employees, marketing that was due, $3,000, and nobody knew about it. And I was freaking out on the inside. And I had to do everything I could to keep myself poised. We got this deal over here. Hey, I want to negotiate that. I want to do this. Boom. Things came to the table. I closed a few deals. Those deals closed. I took the money. I paid payroll and I paid off some of the other things, reinvested in the marketing and was going and continued to move forward. But nobody knew about it. But the question is, do you know where your income's coming in? Because if you don't, if you're worried about it, it's going to drop that net worth. It's going to drop how you feel. It's going to drop your ability to operate out in the marketplace and hit the dreams that you have. It's just going to run in the way of what you're trying to do, and it's going to cause you to freak out and have a panic attack and throw a fit and collapse and go to the emergency room or get so upset that you can't control it because things are out of control because your income is not there. So what is your active income and what is your passive income? The next thing, which can also bolster this, is what does your savings look like? And I like to break down savings into 3 ways, okay? This is how I think about it. Savings is 3 things. One is my short-term savings, okay? Short-term savings is 0 to 12 months. What do I have 0 to 12 months worth of money set aside? What is there? Can I live on it? Is it enough, right? This is things I might access over time. Second thing is, what does my midterm savings look like? Things that are, maybe in smaller, safer investments that is set aside in like a war chest, right? Something that I'm hoping to gradually build in case I have a time horizon where I need to live on it, right? It's what people call the FU money, that war chest money, right? What does that midterm savings look like? Is it gradually growing? Are you doing big plays with that? That's that savings account that's, 20,000 that you want to turn into 50. That's that $100,000 savings account that you want to turn into 200. That's that $1.4 million that you're asking yourself, how can I take this 1.4 million and take it to 3, right? What does that look like for you? And if you have that there, it brings you an additional set of comfort. It's not the emergency fund, the 1 to 12 months, but it's a midterm fund, right? It's not your retirement. It's not your long-term. It's the midterm. What does that look like for you? The last thing from a savings perspective is, what does retirement look like? What is your retirement plan? What is the savings long-term? Is it, a insurance policy, infinite banking policy that's growing over time with a death benefit, a 401k? Is it an IRA? What does that look like for you? Figuring out what that long-term plan is. And I have my own ideas, but that's all part of your net worth, right? Do you have all of this stuff in place, guys? This isn't just a money game. Yes, it's a money game initially when you're surviving and you need to go there, but you also need to change that mindset and think, okay, long-term, what do I want? What do I want? Because if you don't, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. A lot of people are stuck in survival mode, right? They're like Wile E. Coyote running around. Instead, think of Thorin, right? In The Hobbit, he shows up at Bilbo's door and Gandalf's in there and like, we're going to retake our homeland, right? What does that mean to him? That's just one step on the journey. Once he gets there, does he have a plan for keeping the homeland? All kinds of stuff went wrong, right? But does he have a plan for keeping and then building an empire from there? And then what is the succession plan after the empire is built? You see, a lot of us get lost on the journey through the jungle to our first $1 million, through the jungle to what freedom means initially. But guys, that's just one step. Another buddy of mine used to say, hey, a lot of people climb to the top of the mountain to realize it's a bald, empty rock. There's no life. There's nothing up there. But you know what is up there? A great freaking view. Think of the view from the top of the mountains. If you guys have ever been hiking and looked up, and what you get to do is once you climb that mountain and you know where you're at financially, with your goals, with whatever that looks like, you get to the top, you've killed some tigers, right? You took some trophies. You get to look up and say, you know what, that valley over there, I like that one. I'm going to go build my empire in that valley, in that land. Think of it in the Bible, right? To be like, look before you. What land do you want? My question to you is, what land do you want? Once you get up, but you can only do that once you've worked through that first jungle. You get yourself set up, and then you get to decide, where do I want to live? And then the very last thing I've been telling you guys is, what does your social capital look like? What does your social capital look like? What is your Rolodex? You know, the Rockefellers, right? They were billionaires, right? They got so much money, they got this. But you know what? The key thing that was more important was their Rolodex, their relationships, the types of contacts they have. So let me ask you, what's your Rolodex look like? What's your network look like? How engaged are you in that network? How much are you bringing them value and they offering value to you? What does that look like? And in another video, we'll talk about some of the key things when you're creating people who are on the inside of what you want to do. But today I want to ask you, how big and wide is your reach? What does that look like when you think of how valuable you are as you're increasing your net worth, or let's put it this way, your respect level in the community, your ability to get things done? Are you just a one-trick pony? Do you just do single family real estate? Do you just wholesale? Do you just flip properties? Do you just buy storage units and develop them? Like, is that all you do? Or do you stand for something more? And who are the contacts that you have? Here's a list of things as we're talking about Rolodex. And in our Rolodex, I'm going to get to here in a second, what it looks like to develop a stronger quality of relationship with them so you can take it to the next level. A Rolodex used to be a set of cards. Used to be this thing you'd flip through. I don't even know if you guys have seen it. If we can put a picture up here, it's probably something, especially you younger guys, have never seen before. But this is what people used to do to keep part of their contacts. What do we use as a Rolodex nowadays? It's our phones, right? It's the contacts in our phones. That's our Rolodex. But here's the thing. In your Rolodex, you should have certain criteria for people, because your Rolodex equals your reach, right? It's not your voice, but it's your reach, right? It's what are the assets they have? What's the power team? How many people know you and trust you, and believe in you, and are willing to come to your aid? What does that look like? So what are some contacts that you can have in your Rolodex that you can dive into? What are some of those things that you should be focused on for that? The quick story, have you ever been in a situation where you're freaking out, right? You've seen the, the show where they have a lifeline. They can make a call. They have a question. They don't know what it is. Like, you know what? I want to take my lifeline. And they call somebody. They ask them a question. The person answers the question. They hang up and they answer it right or wrong. The question is, do you have people that you can reach out to and call to ask those questions to? And that category of people falls into a number of things. But what's that relationship look like? Can you build that relationship? And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But the types of people that you want to get in your Rolodex are: one, access to capital. People who have money. Do you have access to capital? Number two, legal counsel. Man, if you get sued, what are you going to do? Who's your lawyers? How are they going to help you? What's going on? So number two, legal counsel. Number three, taxes. Holy cow. Taxes drive me crazy. Having counsel on your taxes, having a tax strategist is key, right? Are they in your Rolodex? Number four, this is the most powerful. This is what I made my entire career off of before I started putting myself out there. The number one people I wanted to connect with, you know who they were? Connectors. What do I mean? What's a connector, Ronnie? A connector, think of like your computer, right? You plug it in and it's got wires going everywhere, right? When you connect with someone who's a connector, they're connected to other people's of influence. One hub has 100 contacts. If you have 6 of those hubs, think of what that reaches. 600 people through 6. Connectors are very, very, very powerful, because you might not have capital. You might not have legal counsel, but you have somebody who's connected to legal counsel. You have someone who's connected to capital. So you can make a phone call and that person can say, hey, let me see what I can do. And they can connect. Being friends with connectors is so powerful, guys. You don't have to be the number one guy, but if you got 7 connectors around you, they can pull the resources for you if you take care of them. The next thing is people who are good at research and have the inside scoop in different areas. Think of spies. Think of 007 kind of coming in, people who are undercover in the FBI or, in the mob. There was Donnie Brasco, right? The FBI had an undercover agent to give them the inside scoop. My question is, do you have people who are on the inside who will talk to you, that can give you intel of different situations? Someone that's a sounding board. I have a buddy of mine, number of years. I've known him now for at least 13 years. Really good friend. He used to be an old mentor of mine personally. And whenever I'm having a hard time, I can just call him and he'll just let me talk. He's just a sounding board. I'm struggling and I can just push it off, and he gives me some of the best advice just to calm down and to set me in a direction. But he's someone I can trust. He's a sounding board that I can run things off of, and just a good overall counsel of how to get my mind right, how to set things down. These are some business relationships, and here's some things to watch out for. And just having that sounding board, that good sound counsel, a good therapist, someone you can talk to that works as a sounding board is invaluable. Other things, celebrities, politicians, they can move. Now, I don't have any of that, but those are some other contacts. So how do you develop relationships with these people? I asked Patrick Bet-David, the owner of Valuetainment. Okay, I bring him up because I follow him all the time. I love the guy. But I asked him through his app Minect, which you can get on there and you can ask him a question for money. I asked him, I said, hey, how do you initiate contact with these powerful people and maintain relationships? And he said something super, super powerful to me. He said that it was about getting known for the thing you're good at and then gradually leveling up in your respect level so they respect sitting down with you. So they respect sitting down with you?
Ronald, great question you're asking here, but I would tell you it's multidimensional. One of them is by the way, I'm doing this while I'm about to jump on a Zoom here with a bunch of guys that are waiting on a general mastermind I do on a monthly basis. People get on this from all over the world, but they're multidimensional. One, your credibility in the marketplace has to increase for people to be willing to respect sitting down with you. That gradual progress has to happen with you. So take a niche, if you want to build a brand or whatever you're doing, where your expertise is and what you're known for. What is it? If I told you what Mayweather is known for, you'd give me a name. If I told you Jake Paul, if I told even smaller people, you would think of something of what those guys do. You got to think of what people are going to link you to. And then at the same time, when you're following up, I used to go to this church, Shepherd of the Hills in LA. I really wanted to get close to the pastor. I did. But my approach was sending him gifts, sending him books, sending him, all this stuff. And how can I help? How can I serve? I can never ask, can you give me a life insurance referral? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? 5 years later, he gives me 3 referrals. Let me tell you 2 of them. One of them ends up being Tom Ellsworth. That changed the game, okay? He became the president of the company. Today it's BizDoc. We're running a bunch of companies together. Second of them became Matt Sapala, who came on board. In the last 7 years, they've done $100 million with the company. But I never asked for anything. I just gave. So that mindset will hopefully serve you long-term as well. I did a video on how to be good at referrals. If you've never watched that video on YouTube, go find it. Just type in referrals, Bet David. You'll find a great content there for you to listen to. Take care. Bye-bye.
That was so powerful. It's gradually increasing in your level of respect. And here's a couple of ways that you can do that, okay? And the last one is, in my opinion, the thing that has caused me to have the best connections with people. But number one is you've won together. In some way, you have won. You've either done a cool event, you played on a football team and you won. You had an experience and you guys won over other people together. If you can create those experiences where it was like an inside win, where both of you guys did something together and it was awesome, that's a fantastic way of building a connection with somebody and being able to take that relationship to the next level. Number 2 is doing what you say you're going to do. If you call someone for help, support, whatever, pay right away. Give them extra. Give them a tip. Give them a 30% tip, right? If you go to a restaurant and you go somewhere often, be the guy who tips 30% and they will start noticing you and you will connect with them. But go a little bit above and beyond. Go above and beyond. The next thing is create some emotion. Make it fun. Make the conversation fun. Get past the surface level and be friends and go 1, 2, 3 levels deeper. 3 levels deeper. One of the best ways that I've found when I'm sitting there and I'm a little awkward when I'm talking to people and I'm not the most outgoing person is just guessing what's going on in their life. They call it a cold read. Hey, it looks like it's been a bad day. Oh, right? You're guessing what's going on based on what you see. Hey, it looks like you're really enjoying this thing. Looks like you like fantasy. What's going on there? I just talked to a lady today at an appointment I went to. I was like, oh, she had a book next to her. I was like, oh, what do you like? Yeah, I'm into this, blah, blah, blah. And we started a conversation. These are all things you can do to create a connection. And that connection can then flourish and go somewhere, or it might just be a fun experience. But the number one thing that you can do that I've done, let me put it this way. The number one thing that I have done in order to win, in order to build connections, is to make money together, right? Because when you make money together, there's a level of authenticity. There's a level of this guy does what he says he's going to do. And it increases that reputation. It increases that, I can win with this guy. This guy does what he says he's going to do. And you know what? He came through. Because there's nothing like coming through when money's on the line. So if you guys can make money together, you can win. But if there's not a chance to make money, work on the respect. Work on gaining credibility and leveling up and being known for providing value, for adding value, making a massive impact in the marketplace. Guys, this is about increasing your net worth, not just financially, but in your life. What does your life plan look like? And being forged to win is more than just financial resources. It's going after the things you really want. It's constructing the vision of your life that you want and using real estate as the avenue to catapult you up there and create a springboard for you to win. So if you guys want more of this, go to my website, check it out. I've got some really cool stuff there. If you have questions, I got a link in the description below. You can go there, and I want to be able to help take you guys to the next level. And if you guys are looking to learn skills, specifically how to talk to sellers, how you can get leads, go watch some of the videos that I have here. I have some on how to talk to people, how to build rapport with sellers, and other ones, how to get consistent leads in your business. Go to one of these videos that you can look at, watch the video, and take that next step to forging the life that you want to forge. Until next time, guys, peace.